The human body is full of surprises. We might not be aware of it, but there's a bunch of cool things happening inside of us right now. At this moment, your body might be fighting infections, or maybe it's processing that meal you just had. Or it even might be working towards getting itself back to normal after a long and exhausting workout routine. So I want to ask you, how well do you know your body? I'm pretty sure you don't know enough about it yet. In today's video, I want to introduce you to 15 very weird and creepy things that your body does. Our first entry is causing and stopping a sneeze. When is the right time to sneeze? Well, whenever your body needs it. But sometimes it would be best if we could just save that sneeze for later. And how do you keep your nose from sneezing? Well, it's very simple. You just gotta press the bridge on your nose. Pressing the skin around this area will make your brain think that there's something wrong going on, and will then keep the nose from carrying on with its desire to sneeze. But there are other occasions in which we want to sneeze just so badly, and still, it feels like it's never gonna happen. If that's the case, all you gotta do is look at a bright light, and surely that's gonna cause you to sneeze. Please don't ask me how it works, I don't know either. Our next entry is your thumb and anxiety. Do you have a problem with anxiety? Something as simple as blowing on your thumb might help you calm down. This is because your thumb is connected to a vagus nerve, which is a nerve that travels to the busiest organs of your body, such as the heart, the lungs, the digestive tract, and other organs near your chest and abdomen. When you blow on your thumb, you can get your heart to slow down and lower your blood pressure, which are things that are affected whenever anxiety strikes. Of course, if you have major anxiety problems, you might want to get some professional help. But if the problem is mild, or if you really don't know what to do, just take a deep breath, blow on your thumb, and let your body calm down. Our next entry is improve your mood. Tell me, are you having a bad day? Are you in a very bad mood? Well, here's something that can help you out. Put a pencil between your teeth in a horizontal position. When you do that, you will force yourself to smile, and smiling will dramatically improve your mood and make you feel better. I know sometimes we need to meditate and ponder on some things before moving on, but eventually we'll want to cheer ourselves up, and it looks like using a pencil can do the trick. So if you're having a bad day, why not give it a try? Our next entry is hot and cold. Do you know your mouth is capable of blowing both hot and cold air? If you make a hoo sound while you blow, you will notice that the air coming out is cold, and if you make a ha sound, then you'll get hot air. These sounds are opposites in the total sense of the word. One of them produces cold air and the other one produces warm air. Your body is capable of creating both by just making a different sound while you blow. So if you're cold and you want to warm up your hands, then you should totally use the ha sound. And if it's getting a bit too hot and you want to cool off, then try the hoo. It really does work, try it. Our next entry is difficult to swallow. You're probably going to think this is silly, but I dare you to try it. Stick your tongue out between your teeth and try to swallow some saliva. Kinda difficult, ain't it? And it's said that the further you put your tongue out, the harder it is to swallow. This is because your tongue is in charge of passing all drinks and foods down your throat. If you bite it, you kinda interrupt its work. Our next entry is curing hiccups. Hiccups are some of the weirdest things that can happen to our body. They usually come as a result of drinking too fast, having too much food at once, or simply by getting extreme emotions out of the sudden. There are lots of things that you can do to cure them, or you can just wait for them to go away on their own. They rarely last long. However, if you want to get rid of them right away, just press your tongue against an ice cube and the hiccup should be gone in the blink of an eye. Our next entry is tickle in throat. And here's another condition that is quite uncomfortable: a tickle in your throat. This is usually linked to infections, and you probably might want to see a doctor to get a proper diagnosis and see what's going on. It could just be an irritation, or it could be something like laryngitis or other conditions that need care. But while you wait for a diagnosis, there's something you can do to get relief for the sensation of that tickle. You just gotta scratch your ear. That's right, apparently when you scratch your ear, you automatically stimulate your throat. That's because the ear and the throat are somehow connected. So, while you wait for a doctor's appointment, do yourself a favor and scratch your ear to relieve your throat. Our next entry is fixing cramps. Much like hiccups and tickles, cramps are also very uncomfortable, and they usually come at the worst possible timing. But your body is able to heal on its own if you're experiencing one of these. If you have a cramp on the right side of your body, all you gotta do is run and breathe, but make sure you exhale deeply as your left foot lands on the ground. And the same applies to cramps on the left side of your body. Just run and exhale as your right foot lands on the ground. And also massage your cramp as you do this to make sure it works effectively. It sounds complicated, but it is worth it. Our next entry is no pain on elbow. This one isn't so much about what your body can do, but it's actually about one thing that your body is not able to do. You can't feel pain on your elbow, as there are barely any nerves on that part of the body. So even if you scratch yourself or you pinch it really bad, you're not gonna feel much pain. You might bleed, but the sensation will not be even close to the pain that you feel in other parts of your body. Our next entry is waking up quickly. Does it ever happen to you that you have a hard time getting out of bed? It doesn't matter how much work you have to do. Sometimes you can't help it but stay in bed a little longer until you realize it's getting late. Well, if you really want to wake up and force yourself out of bed, all you gotta do is hold your breath for a while and your body will immediately wake up completely. This happens because holding your breath makes your heart beat faster, to the point that your body becomes more aware and active. Once you do that, you're gonna want to jump out of bed and get started with your day. Our next entry is stopping a nosebleed. It might seem like an annoying problem, but it can actually be helped by simply applying some gentle pressure to the upper side of our gums. All we gotta do is use our fingers to put some pressure on our lips above where the front teeth are. It's like massaging our gums from the outside. This can temporarily block the part of our body that sends blood to your nose. It's actually pretty interesting to see how the parts in our body are connected with each other, even if we wouldn't expect it to work in such a way. Our next entry is taking big pills. It might be hard for you to make sense out of this one, but it's been proven that the best way to take a pill is by drinking some water and leaning your head forward. Yeah, you heard that one right. Well, it sounds like it would be best to lean backward. Leaning forward makes the pill float on the water right to the back of our mouth without any problem. So give this a try the next time you have to take a pill, especially if it's one that you might think it's hard to swallow. Our next entry is shake your head. Isn't it annoying when a part of your body falls asleep? Especially if it happens during your sleep and you wake up to an arm or a leg that's just completely numb and you want to get out of bed? Ugh, it's the most annoying feeling ever. However, there is one hack that can help you solve this issue. You just gotta shake your head and you'll see how your limbs come back to normal. This happens because sometimes your limbs fall asleep due to nerves in the neck that get compressed. So if you move them and you shake them a bit, you'll get blood flowing back to the parts of the body that need it. Now it's time for the day's best pick. The picture I chose for today is a depiction of one of the weirdest things that your body does. We've all gone through this when we go swimming and stay too long in the water. But why does it happen? Well, let's find out next with our next entry, wrinkly fingers. Do you remember the first time your fingers got all wrinkly? Was it when you went to the pool for the first time, or did it happen at home after you stayed a bit too long inside that bathtub? In one way or another, I'm sure you were a bit surprised to see your hands looking like raisins. But I wonder if someone actually explained to you what makes your fingers look like that. Well, what happens is that your skin has an outer layer that is covered in an oil called sebum. Sebum makes sure that your skin stays hydrated, and in a way it also works as a waterproof cover to the inner layers of your skin. So when you stay too long in the water, you pretty much wash away the sebum, and that's why your fingers look all wrinkly. Let me assure you, there is nothing to worry about here. Your body can produce more sebum as soon as you're out of the water. In recent years, researchers have realized that this feature might also be a way for our bodies to adapt and be more efficient. Just look at it this way. When our fingers are wrinkly, it's easier to grab wet objects. Otherwise, our hands are all slippery and we have a hard time grabbing stuff. So it seems like wrinkly fingers are also a way for our bodies to adapt to a wet environment until we're dry again. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. And now time for our final entry, falling asleep. And the last thing I want to show you today has to do with falling asleep. If for some reason you're having a hard time falling asleep, all you gotta do is blink as fast as you can for 1 to 2 minutes. Once you're all done with that, your eyes are likely gonna close in no time. When you blink, you use the muscles around your eyes. And just like your legs would get tired after a long run, your eye muscles are gonna get tired after continuous blinking. So you might want to give this a try next time you feel like your body doesn't want to sleep yet. I hope you learned some useful things today. Are there any other weird or creepy things that you know about the human body? Well, let us know in the comments section down below. With With all that said and done, that's our video for today, folks, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.